Hi, so my name is Nathan, and today we're going to talk about getting back to work and what it's been like. Now, I find it quite difficult to get work since I am a immigrant who moved to the Netherlands, and it was all very much a bit of a kerfuffle. But when I finally got into work, it was a lot of effort to find a rhythm. It was very stressful. The first 2 weeks were dreadfully stressful. I didn't know what I was doing, where I was going, what was expected of me, what was the level of quality I needed to work for, what was the basic requirements for me of what I needed to do. I didn't know any of it. No one explained it to me. Sorry, I forgot about my coffee. I know that you're probably thinking like, you should know what you're doing when you go into a job. I'm like, yes, I knew it was a cleaning job. I knew it was something to do with maybe hotels, offices. I knew that, but every location has its own specific way of doing things, and getting the hang of that, can be awkward to say the least, especially when the people teaching you don't speak English or speak very little English, to the point where I'm basically doing sign language trying to understand them. Now, I don't actually know sign language, but you know what I mean. It's a bit of a mime act, trying to figure out what they want me to do, and the very limited Dutch that I knew at the time didn't really make the situation any easier. I recently bought new coffee, so I'm testing it out because I'm trying to find a brew that's I like best, so bear with me. So figuring out the tasks of what I was meant to do it was overly complicated. It was frustrating, it was slow, and there was many times where I was being corrected or someone didn't explain something to me and they're like, why didn't you do this? And I was like, you didn't tell me. You didn't say. It wasn't in the itinerary. You didn't tell me what to do when it came to that area or thing. And it was just super frustrating. I was really struggling, and I was thinking, I can't get fired. If I get fired, I'm done. That's me. I failed at living in the Netherlands because I had bills to pay. I still have bills to pay. It was rough the first 2 weeks, well, the first month and a half, really. I'm only really getting the hang of it now, and it's just over a month and a half that I've been working with this company. The job itself is fine. I love the job. I'm okay cleaning offices and stuff like that. That's fine. I have no problem there. It's the fact that it took so long for me to figure out what I needed to do or where I was going. And that's not even including the problems I've been having with the communication problems I've been having with my boss. Now, his English is pretty good. At least his spoken English. I'm not sure if his written English is up to the same standard, but we have had a few moments where he'll tell me, you're working here, here, and here on this day, and this day. Or you're working at these 2 offices for the rest of the week from this time to this time. And I thought, okay, cool. That's perfectly fine. And I would start my stuff, and then he would text me in the middle of the week like, oh, can you do this place instead on the Thursdays? And I'd be like, okay, cool. And then he'd be like, when I'm going to that place on the Thursday and I arrive at that place, he'd be texting me being like, why aren't you at the previous place? Why aren't you there cleaning? And I'm like, you literally texted me the day before telling me that I'm working here today. And like, I didn't even have to scroll up to find that message that he sent me. It was there in the chat. And I'm sitting going, okay. I don't have enough energy to give a hoot right now. So I'm just gonna clean this place and go home. That wasn't even the first time. You see, to go more in depth, I cleaned 2 offices. normally on average, and he only wanted me to clean one for most of the week. That's why when I arrived at that office, he was like, "Why aren't you at the other office?" And I was like, "Yeah, about that. You said this, and it's not my fault." So, yeah, I obviously did it in a bit of a polite way. I didn't want to be rude. But I was just so tired that I really didn't give a shit. The first time though, it was a bit of a situation because I was still kind of figuring out what I was doing. It was still the first kind of 2 week time that I was trying to figure it out. And, I did my job. I thought, I'm done. He'll tell me when I'm working next. And I was literally eating some noodle soup that I ate, that I made. And he was like, called me like, "Why aren't you at work?" And I was like, "You didn't tell me I was working today." And he's like, "Can you get there?" And I'm like, "It takes an hour to cycle there. By the time I'm there, they'll all be done. Like, it'll be 8 o'clock. That's when I stop working." So, yeah. There's been quite a few communication mistakes. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I've tried to work with him, but this keeps on happening, and his messages aren't clear. The way they're structured is super misleading. And honestly, I'm getting to the point where I'm half tempted to text him like, "Do you want me to help you organize your staff? Because this isn't working." But in the end, it's job's a job. It's just cleaning, and I don't care as long as I get paid at the end of the week. I don't care. And there was a time where I was stressing out that I wasn't getting enough hours. Because he was like, "Hey, you just work 2 hours a day." And I was like, "I can't live on that." I can't. 10 hours a week is insufficient. And sure, I had Deliveroo, so I was going to be fine anyways, but I really kind of wanted more hours in the cleaning job so that I didn't have to cycle a lot in the delivery job, because the delivery job specifically is very physically demanding. It's enjoyable as hell. Like, it's super enjoyable, but it's just a lot. Oh yeah, and there was a bunch of problems with payments. See, I come from a town where I'm used to cash in hand, or my manager would sort out the payments for me and it would all be automatic. Whatever system this company is using, you put in your hours through a website that doesn't explain itself. It's very kind of all over the place and kind of complicated. I have to use Google Chrome to translate it. It's really annoying. But I was like, after not realizing I had to put in my hours, got that sorted, and then payments weren't coming in. I was making sure they were sent out. They take forever to process. I don't get my money on time. And I just realized it takes like a week for them to process, which seems stupid, but I get paid weekly, so I'm like, okay, as long as I have enough money by the end of the month. And the last thing about the cleaning job specifically, because with delivery, cycling is kind of the job, and you only have to cycle into the center, which is like a 10 to 15 minute cycle at worst. But like tonight, I will be cycling to a lab, like office research facility thing. I'm not entirely sure what it's all about. I don't really care. It takes an hour to get down there via bike, or like an hour and 30 via bus. And like a good example of the travel problems I'm having are, yesterday the wind was coming from the south, so it was super difficult to get to work on time. I left home early, like I left home 20 minutes early, and it takes like an hour to get there, so I was like, I had like 70 minutes to get there. I was 3 minutes late, which like it's not much, but usually I'm 15 minutes early, but like I could feel my sciatic nerve screaming at me, because I have problems with my sciatic nerve, and if I put under too much pressure, or if I cycle too long, it can really, really hurt. And I was getting so angry because it was just so much effort just to get this 2-hour job. And like, I don't care as long as I get paid, but I don't get travel compensation. So that hour cycle I don't get paid for. So I'm basically working 4 hours a night and only getting paid for 2. Because let's be real, cycling to the industrial district is not easy. Not in Utrecht. Especially since I live in the north of Utrecht. In like my thoughts on this job, on the cleaning job that is, on my whole thoughts on our, I don't like the whole problems with my boss and this whole travel thing. Like the job itself, the actual tasks that I have to do, I don't mind. I actually quite enjoy it. It's quite satisfying after you've cleaned an area and it's all like nice and clean and organized. That's great. I love that. It makes me feel happy. I like cleaning. But I probably should have figured this out years ago, but I really come to terms with, I hate having a boss. I hate working for someone. I really don't like it, because they expect everything from you and they pay you pennies. I have 0 qualifications. I don't know Dutch. I'm trying my best to learn Dutch, and I am getting there, but I'm nowhere near good enough yet. It's just really frustrating when your boss, like when my boss is a little bit incompetent at doing his job. Like his job is to recruit people, like hire people, and to make sure that they have allocated hours, that they get there on time, they understand what hours they're doing. But all these last minute changes or incoherent messages, like, you don't even have to speak to me in English, you can just type it in Dutch. Give me the dates, the times, the place. You don't even have to give me sentences. But he's just, I don't know, maybe he's just super busy and is not thinking. But it's just rather frustrating. That's really it. Now, which job do I prefer more? I think it's kind of obvious at this point with the amount of complaining I've been doing. I do love my delivery job because my boss is an app. It's literally an app. I click the available shifts. I organize my week with those available shifts. I check it every morning to see if there's any free shifts I can nab. And then I go to the center of the town, of the city. I do the orders I'm given. And once my shift is ended, I go home. Simple as. It's very physically demanding, but I don't have to tolerate people. I just go into a restaurant, get my order, go to the person who ordered it, give them their order, say thank you, have a nice day, and then wait till the next order. Now, I have had a few things like, I went to a Bagel and Beans. Now, if you've ever been to Bagel and Beans, they're pretty legit. They have good bagels. Coffee, I've had so-so experiences with, but maybe that was just the specific one I went to. Well, I went there and they were like, we've been waiting for 30 minutes for some rider to come along. And I'm like, I literally just got this order 2 minutes ago, dude. It's not my problem. And he's like, I've cancelled the order. And I'm like, obviously I haven't, because it's still on the app. So I had to contact customer service, or sorry, the help chat on delivery app, and they sorted it out for me. But yeah, I just spent 15 to 20 minutes on an order that I didn't even get paid for because the chef there was being an asshole. And I'm like, dude, it's not my problem. It's a Tuesday midweek. 90% of the riders are not riding right now because it's the middle of the week in the morning when you're least likely to get an order. I just do it mornings because it's alright. It's chill. I like it. It's a little slower than the weekend or evenings. Plus I work evenings on the weekdays, so I can't really work those. I don't really mind the delivery because no boss really. Or at least no human boss. It's all programmed. It's all coding. But my plans for the future when it comes to my careers is I'm still wanting that barista job. I know I'll be working for a boss, but if I can find a quiet cafe in a corner of Utrecht somewhere, reasonably close to my home, and even if it's just for a couple of days a week, I'll take it. I'll do it. I don't care. I get to make coffee, and I'll probably get to drink coffee. And I want to have a total workload of 35 hours a week. I can work about 14 and a half hours with delivery maximum per week because there's only a certain amount of money I can get from delivery. Otherwise, I'd be working a lot more hours per week. So if I can get like a 20-hour barista job where I work like 4 days a week or something like that, that'd be spot on. Another thing I've been really working on is kickstarting my art career again. I used to take commissions a lot. Most of them were physical pencil drawings, and now I'm trying to reach into to digital. But I still do pencil commissions if anyone's wanting. I have to figure out postage and packaging. But I'm trying to kick that off again. I'm like posting on Twitter. I've got my Fiverr account. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check out my art and what kind of commissions I'm doing at the moment. I am going to expand what kind of commissions I'm doing. I just haven't got examples for them yet. But I'm really trying to do something with it. I'm also trying to re-kickstart my jewellery business again. I'm still waiting for a few materials to arrive before I can fully get that going again. But for the most part, I've got new products coming in and stuff like that. So once I got those, I can start advertising again and start really pushing that forward. Twitter's going to be my main platform of advertisement. I don't really like Facebook. I find it a bit iffy, but I'm still trying to figure it out. So those two things are working. I would love to get my photography into a business as well. So you can see what I'm trying to do here is like between art, photography, barista, delivery, jewellery. That's 5 potential incomes. All of them will take years to push forward, apart from delivery and barista. You can pretty much get those within like a month or a year or so. But for the long term, my art and my jewellery are the main focus at the moment. The photography would be nice to have as well, because I do enjoy photography. I am looking to get a new camera though. This one's good, but it's just not quite working for me, not entirely. All in all, I have big plans. I just need to keep my head down and keep on pushing forward. And eventually, hopefully everything will work out. So that's everything that I need to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything that you want to ask or know more about, please leave in the comments below and I will get to the comments, or I will make a video about it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.